The overlooked observer. The vast expanse of the Milky Way held countless civilizations, each more advanced than humanity could imagine. For centuries, the Galactic Council had monitored thousands of worlds, categorizing species by their threat levels and technological capabilities. Earth barely registered on their sensors, labeled as a primitive Class D civilization, unworthy of attention or concern. In the gleaming chambers of the Galactic Council headquarters, Ambassador Vextor of the Kraxan Empire reviewed the latest surveillance reports. His four arms moved efficiently across holographic displays, dismissing one system after another. When Earth's data appeared, he barely glanced at it before moving on. The blue-green planet's inhabitants still relied on chemical propulsion and hadn't even colonized their own moon properly. They posed no threat to the established order. Meanwhile, on Earth, Lieutenant Sarah Chen worked late in the underground facility known as Project Aegis. The massive complex, buried beneath the Rocky Mountains, housed humanity's most closely guarded secret. For 20 years, Earth scientists had been developing technology based on recovered alien artifacts, carefully hidden from prying eyes above. Sarah's fingers danced across her console, analyzing the latest quantum field equations. The breakthrough had come 3 months ago when they finally cracked the code for manipulating space-time at the quantum level. The applications were staggering: instantaneous communication, energy shields that could deflect planet-killing weapons, and propulsion systems that made faster-than-light travel look primitive. Her colleague, Dr. Marcus Webb, entered the lab carrying 2 steaming cups of coffee. "Still at it, Chen. You know the shields are already operating at 98% efficiency." Sarah accepted the coffee gratefully. "Something's been bothering me about the alien surveillance patterns. They've been increasing their scans of our system, but they're still using the same outdated frequencies. It's like they expect us to still be using radio waves for everything." Marcus frowned, setting down his cup. "You think they're preparing for something?" "I ran the numbers. The scan intensity matches pre-invasion patterns from their attacks on other worlds. We might be looking at incoming hostiles within the next solar rotation." The warning came sooner than expected. 3 days later, Earth's hidden detection grid picked up massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system. The Kraxan Empire had arrived with a fleet of 500 warships, each one capable of reducing a planet to molten slag. Ambassador Vextor's message played across every communication device on Earth simultaneously. His translated voice dripped with condescension. "Inhabitants of Earth, your planet has been selected for resource extraction by the Kraxan Empire. You have 1 solar rotation to evacuate all population centers. Resistance is futile. Your primitive weapons cannot hope to damage our vessels. Surrender now, and some of you may be selected for servitude rather than termination." The United Earth Council convened an emergency session. President Elena Rodriguez stood before the assembly, her face grim but determined. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've prepared for this day. Project Aegis is fully operational. Our quantum shield network stands ready. Today, we show the galaxy that humanity will not go quietly into the night." The order was given. Across the planet, hidden facilities powered up. Quantum generators hummed to life, creating an invisible lattice of protection around Earth. The technology was unlike anything the galaxy had seen, operating on principles that even the most advanced civilizations hadn't discovered. Lieutenant Chen coordinated the defensive grid from her station. Shield nodes online. Quantum entanglement established. We're ready for whatever they throw at us. Ambassador Vextor observed Earth's lack of visible response with amusement. The humans hadn't even launched their primitive rockets or activated their nuclear arsenals. Perhaps they had accepted their fate after all. He ordered the fleet to begin bombardment positions. "Target their major cities first," Vextor commanded. "Let them see their capitals burn as an example to others who might think to resist the Empire." The first wave of plasma cannons fired, energy beams powerful enough to vaporize mountains streaking toward Earth's surface. Military personnel worldwide held their breath, waiting to see if their untested defenses would hold. The beams struck the quantum shield and simply disappeared. Not reflected, not absorbed, but completely negated at the quantum level. The energy was simultaneously redirected through dimensional pockets, emerging as harmless light in deep space. Vextor's mandibles clicked in confusion. His sensors showed the weapons had fired, but there was no impact, no destruction. Technical malfunction. Check all systems. Systems operating normally, Ambassador, his weapons officer reported. The beams they're being erased somehow. The second barrage yielded the same results. Then the third. Earth remained untouched, protected by a defense that defied everything the Kraxan knew about physics. Sarah Chen allowed herself a small smile as she monitored the shield's performance. Power consumption at 12%. We could maintain this indefinitely. Dr. Webb watched the tactical display showing hundreds of alien weapons firing uselessly at their planet. They're starting to realize something's wrong. Look at their formation. They're pulling back to reassess. On the Kraxan flagship, panic was beginning to set in. Ambassador Vextor had never encountered anything like this. Every weapon in their arsenal, from antimatter missiles to graviton bombs, simply ceased to exist upon contact with Earth's atmosphere. Impossible, he muttered, studying the sensor data. They're using some form of dimensional manipulation. But how? They don't even have faster-than-light travel. His science officer approached hesitantly. Ambassador, our scans show quantum field fluctuations unlike anything in our database. It's as if they're operating on entirely different physical principles. Vextor's 4 eyes narrowed. Send word to the Empire. Tell them we need reinforcements and the science fleet. These humans have technology we don't understand. Back on Earth, the United Earth Council prepared for Phase 2 of their defense. President Rodriguez addressed the Planetary Defense Force via encrypted channels. The shield is holding, but we can't stay on defense forever. It's time to show them that one human is indeed enough to change everything. Lieutenant Chen, you have authorization to proceed with Operation Prometheus. Sarah's hands moved across her console with practiced precision. Acknowledged, Madam President. Initiating offensive protocols. Let's see how they like a taste of quantum warfare. Part 2. The Quantum Gambit. The Kraxan fleet regrouped at the edge of Earth's orbit, their weapons proving useless against the mysterious shield. Ambassador Vextor paced the command deck, his 4 arms gesticulating wildly as he berated his officers. The situation was unprecedented. A supposedly primitive species had technology that surpassed the Empire's understanding. On Earth, Lieutenant Sarah Chen prepared to unleash humanity's true capabilities. The quantum shield was just the beginning. Project Aegis had developed offensive applications that would revolutionize warfare on a galactic scale. Quantum tunneling missiles ready, Dr. Webb reported from his station. Targeting solutions locked on all enemy vessels. Sarah nodded. Remember, we're not trying to annihilate them. We want to send a message that Earth is not to be trifled with. Target their weapons, systems, and engines only. The first wave of Earth's counterattack began silently. Unlike the Kraxan's massive energy weapons, humanity's quantum missiles were nearly invisible to standard sensors. They existed in a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously everywhere, and nowhere until they reached their targets. On the Kraxan flagship, alarms suddenly screamed. Ambassador, unknown projectiles incoming. They're facing through our shields. Vextor barely had time to process the warning before the missiles struck. They didn't explode in the conventional sense. Instead, they created localized quantum fields that simply deleted portions of the ship's structures. Weapons arrays vanished. Engine cores ceased to exist. Shield generators were erased from reality. Within minutes, the mighty Kraxan invasion fleet was reduced to drifting hulks, their offensive capabilities completely neutralized. Not a single life was lost, but the message was clear. Earth could have destroyed them all if it chose to. The galactic community watched in stunned silence through long-range sensors. The primitive humans, dismissed as irrelevant, had just defeated one of the most powerful military forces in known space. Sarah opened a communication channel to the crippled Kraxan fleet. Ambassador Vextor, this is Lieutenant Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Command. Your weapons have been neutralized. Your engines are offline. You posed a threat to our world, and we responded accordingly. However, we offer you a choice. Leave in peace and spread the word that Earth is no longer defenseless, or continue your aggression and face complete annihilation. Vextor's voice trembled as he responded. This is impossible. Your species doesn't have this technology. Our surveillance shows. Your surveillance is 30 years out of date, Sarah interrupted. While you watched our television broadcasts and dismissed us as primitive, we were learning. We studied the artifacts left behind by ancient civilizations. We developed new branches of physics. We chose to appear weak because it suited our purposes. That time is over. President Rodriguez joined the communication. Ambassador, Earth extends an offer to the Galactic Council. We will share our quantum shield technology with any civilization that signs a mutual defense and non-aggression pact. The age of empire building through force is ending. A new era of cooperation begins today. Across the galaxy, monitoring stations buzzed with activity. The Zephyrian Collective, the Altarian Federation, and dozens of other civilizations that had lived in fear of the Kraxan Empire suddenly saw hope. If Earth could develop such advanced defenses, perhaps the balance of power could finally shift. The next few hours saw unprecedented diplomatic activity. Smaller civilizations began reaching out to Earth, eager to establish relations. The quantum shield technology offered protection against the aggressive empires that had dominated galactic politics for millennia. Dr. Webb pulled up the incoming communications. Sarah, we're receiving alliance requests from 17 different systems. They're offering technology exchanges, trade agreements, mutual defense pacts. It's like the entire galaxy suddenly woke up to our existence. Sarah smiled. Not our existence. Our potential. They're realizing that sometimes the overlooked observer sees things others miss. We had the advantage of studying their technology without their preconceptions limiting us. The Kraxan fleet limped away from Earth's system, their defeat sending shockwaves through the Empire. Within days, subject worlds began rebelling, protected by hasty alliances with Earth and its quantum shield technology. Ambassador Vextor's final report to the Kraxan Emperor was brief. The humans were never primitive. They were patient. While we measured strength in ships and weapons, they measured it in innovation and adaptability. One human mind, given the right tools, truly can change the galaxy. 3 months later, the new Galactic Alliance held its first session on neutral ground. Earth sat as an equal member, no longer dismissed or overlooked. The quantum shield network had expanded to protect dozens of worlds, creating a barrier against aggressive expansion. Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, addressed the assembly. For too long, this galaxy operated on the principle that might makes right. Today, we offer an alternative. The quantum shield technology proves that defense can be stronger than offense. That cooperation yields better results than conquest. Earth stands ready to share this knowledge with all peaceful civilizations. The human delegation watched as former enemies began discussing trade routes instead of invasion plans. Scientists from different species collaborated on new applications for quantum technology. The galaxy was transforming, all because humanity had refused to accept its assigned place in the hierarchy. In her private moments, Sarah often thought about the message that had changed everything. One human is enough to change everything. It hadn't meant military might or political power. It meant that one person with the right idea at the right time could alter the course of history. Earth's emergence as a galactic power wasn't through conquest or intimidation. It was through innovation, determination, and the simple refusal to accept limitations others tried to impose. The formerly primitive humans had shown the galaxy that true strength came not from the size of one's fleet, but from the boundless potential of the mind. As she looked out at the stars, Sarah knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, but there were still mysteries to unravel, technologies to develop, and alliances to forge. The galaxy had learned that one human could indeed change everything. Now it was time to see what humanity as a whole could accomplish. The age of empires built on force was ending. The age of cooperation, innovation, and mutual protection had begun. And at the center of it all stood Earth, no longer overlooked, no longer dismissed, but finally recognized for what it had always been, a world of unlimited potential, whose greatest weapon was the unstoppable power of human ingenuity.